So, firstly, we're going to go over the trades from this week. I want to give a little overview on uh, why we entered them and then how they're doing right now, what I see happening in the future. Then go over some trade setups I've been watching for, and then if anyone has any charts they want me to look over or any questions they have, just put them in the chat and then I'll go over them. Firstly, we had our Doge short literally a week ago today. I remember we talked about this in last week's stream. I was saying, when it reaches this area around golden pocket, this was also some pivot, and I think it was weekly R2 as well. I'll be looking for a short. That played out perfectly. Hit our first take profit and then all the way back up to break even where we exited. And now Doge is actually breaking back into this uptrend, which is actually rather bullish, which aligns with how Bitcoin is looking at the moment, which is got a second chart we'll look at. We initially entered our shorts up here, then I took a little bit of profit down here, then entered more into a short up here, and of course it broke out this descending channel, retested it earlier today, where I closed the trade at break even because I see us going much higher for Bitcoin at the moment. My main target now is around 83 to 85k, around this zone. Now, why this zone? Because fibs have been playing out extremely accurately, especially with Bitcoin. I mean, just like, look, we had here with this move down, this rejects off the 0.382. See, it rejected perfectly off there. Down here, it did the exact same thing. Now we're looking to break above this zone, and when we break above this 0.382, my next target is, of course, is a golden pocket, which also aligns with the weekly 0.382. So this zone here, and you notice how 0.382 has been respected so much. This would be a great zone to short. It also aligns with a lot of liquidity. I've seen, I think it was Vic. Vic loves his liquidity. He's been posting charts about this zone here. Same with God's Entry as well. He's been doing some patterns from 2022 saying around this zone. So here, if we go up here, I'm very confident that it will be a good short. But of course, we need to see how it reacts. Then we had our Tau short, which performed amazingly. We had this initial one here where we timed literally the top. Here, we were near the golden pocket. There was some pivots as confluence, and then of course top of this channel, literally the top. The trade call was, let me pull it up. Here we go, 366 to 374. And look at this, 374, exact top. So we timed the top there, rode it all the way down to just before the golden pocket where we took profits 2 nights ago. We had a nice little, let me quickly check how well that trade did, because I remember it did very well. 246%. And what I'm watching for now on here is actually to do the exact opposite, is to play it all the way back up. See, we have this golden pocket here, which is being formed by that. And we have pivots as well as confluence. We have the weekly S2 here. And we've been seeing 6-hour divergences, 4-hour as well. So this probably will be called very soon. I'll be looking to probably enter just before this golden pocket, so like 233 to 223. This on here, and then ride it up. First take profit would be around here, because if we have a look at the projected 0.382, if we bottom around here, we have this 0.382 plus that local high, take profits there. Then above that, we have around here, this zone, golden pocket, yearly pivot, take profits around here. And then around here should be top of channel plus 0.786, and there's a little local high for our final take profit. So this trade I'm very confident on if we can get an entry, which I would like to see. Then we also had our ETH short, which we exited a couple days ago. Took our initial short up here, took partial profits down here, or some people just put it to break even, and then worked our way back up here, risk free. We exited the trade. Now with the ETH is a bit of a weird one at the moment because its channel isn't very strong. Like, it has been respecting, but at the same time, as you see here, we could break out and then come back inside. So I mean, that could very much happen here. I'm not looking to take a short here unless we see maybe a 12-hour or maybe even a 6-hour divergence, maybe around here. But ETH is one I'm staying a bit clearer of at the moment. The price action isn't really what I want to see, but maybe if this was the top down here, a long down here could be good around this 0.382 plus bottom of this channel plus midline of this ascending channel could play this up to, where's it gone? They changed the symbols now. Let's say we enter down here, have a stop loss, see around here, work our way back up to around this local high. Could be a good trade, and then have more optimistic targets above, and probably play this the same as our fib levels. Yeah, so you see here 0.382 respected this golden pocket zone here. If we go up there, could be good for a short. Likewise with this 0.382. I think with ETH, if we do go up to around 3K, that would be a good short. Similar with how Bitcoin around 0.382. And then finally for our recent trades, we had our hype short. We'll go back over it. 232% on that one. So another great short. We had, yeah, from up here. Was it up here? No, it was here. Took that all the way down to there. Or was it up here, down to here? It was one of these two. And now we are shorting this again. So for this one, we have this resistance zone, which is this golden pocket from that massive move. Plus we have our 6-hour plus, 6-hour bearish divergence into that zone. Plus we have monthly R2, weekly R2, big resistance here. So I'm expecting us to reject, work our way down, maybe bounce off weekly pivot, potentially may take my first profit there, but the ones I've planned right now are around here. This monthly pivot plus yearly pivot plus bottom of channel should be around here. We could very easily just hit here and then bounce, continue upwards. So this is my main take profit. But then optimistic is if we break down out of this channel, then finding around the golden pocket and then seeing what happens there. But this zone here will be very strong. I may look for a long around here. And then for trades I'm watching for this week. And yeah, also if anyone has any charts or any tokens they want me to go over, just put them in the chat. And after I'm done with these ones, I'll go over those. So for KITE, it could be a good long. I mean, it has been having this bullish divergence, so I'm expecting us to move up. But I want to see how it reacts around this 0.382 plus top of channel plus weekly R3. This zone here could get a nice reaction for a short move downwards, so maybe to yearly pivot and maybe even lower. Then there's CAS, where, yeah, I talked about this last week as well. This zone here, good resistance zone, 0.32, monthly pivot, weekly R3, plus retesting channel. But we could also look for a long here. The key with these tokens is to play both sides of the market, because I mean, there's money to be made both ways, so why wouldn't you do that? Around here, weekly pivot plus this golden pocket plus bottom of channel. Could look here for a long. Say we go down to here, stop loss just below. Target up here, minus 2.46. R to R. That'd be a very good trade. Then Solana, as well, everyone loves Solana. It is also in this uptrend. So, yeah, I mean, I'll be watching around this golden pocket weekly R3 for maybe a short down to monthly pivot and then lower, or potentially if we can get it around the bottom of this channel along, but that's riskier considering there's not too much confluence around there, unless there's a fib level there, which there might be. Yeah, I mean, if go around here, golden pocket potentially could be good for a bounce up, monthly pivot, then golden pocket, then maybe local high. Then Link, another interesting one. It is around its golden pocket now. I'm not here. It could very easily reject, and if it does, weekly, monthly pivot, bottom of channel, good long up, all around here, see some resistance and then reject down. And then we have two more charts which are very interesting. ZEC, which, now I didn't look at this chart for a very long time, but it has been interesting over the past week or so. We had this impulsive move upwards, and now we're doing this 1 hour, or I guess call it 4 hour bull flag at the moment. So maybe we see off here weekly pivot, rejection, a bounce upwards, break above, and when it does break above this channel, I'll be watching for either 0.382 yearly pivot, bullish, bearish divergence on the daily, and then catch the move downwards. Because you see this downtrend, I'm expecting that's going to continue down. Could potentially even draw a channel for that one. And then render. I went over this last week. See here, draw the circle. Said it's probably going to reject around here. Look what happened, rejected around there. Now I'll be looking for a long around the 0.382, weekly S3, monthly pivot, bottom of channel, this area here. Could be good for a long back up, target some pivot, target local high, and maybe even higher. And then I'll quickly answer some questions, because if not, then there's a couple more interesting charts I can go over. Ed, can you check if the channels here on BTC are accurate or not? Yeah. See, yeah, it does look accurate. I don't see any clear faults with it. What you have on yours is, let's see, let's get rid of these. You didn't have that one there. Okay, so yeah, what you had is these ones. Your large one does look correct. You saw it close above, and then yeah, retest down below. This channel here, the ascending channel, it also looks correct. The top line could be cleaned up a bit. You don't have anything actually touching it at the moment. Probably want at least one of these wicks, probably two, to be touching it. But then, yeah, I mean, yours is close enough to work. So I'd say, yeah, you've done a good job with that one. Let me see what other questions. See, it's fire Ed. Yep, following liquidity zones is fire because they are showing the same thing essentially as a golden pocket is. Yeah, pretty much is. So you use the golden pockets from older channels to predict what's going to happen in the current channel. Well, let me see. Wait, golden pockets from older channels to predict. Okay, golden pockets are from fibs. Fibs are different from channels. I know I use them both a lot together, but it's best to separate them. So, I mean, for example, the Bitcoin move we were looking at fib levels, it was rejecting off. Now this did align with the channels, but they are two different things. So yeah, I just look at the patterns from the past fibs, see what happens there, and then use channels as confluence. Fibs are the main thing I use. They're my kind of support and resistance. If you can share your preferred settings for pivots, would appreciate it. I've only just learned fibs, but keen to learn pivots too. You seem to use that a lot for confidence. Yeah, sure. So I use this indicator, which is by God's entry. I will take a screenshot of my settings. They are essentially the default settings. Just I've turned off auto fibs, this thing. Don't really understand the point of it, but yeah, so I turned that one off. And then yeah, everything else is default. I'll look for the link to this afterwards. Actually, maybe someone else has a link to it so they can put it in the chat, or you can just search up Omega NTF Pivots 369 and that should come up. It's by God's entry. Ed, can you check gold? Yes, I can. Let's see. Yeah, so gold it's interesting at the moment because it is in this uptrend. It is reaching resistance zones, but it's quite a wide zone. Can't really tell which one it will reject from. But this here is a stronger zone around weekly R3 to 5.1k top of golden pocket, yearly R2. That zone I would be I'll be watching for maybe a short. But actually at the moment could be good for a long. Nah, I'd wait for it to reset before long. Probably around monthly pivot, weekly pivot. But if it goes down here, it'll be breaking down out of this channel. So yeah, I need to play around with different, like maybe like that. Yeah, that'd be good. Let's see. Yeah, so this channel may actually be better. There we go. So maybe it's front running here and we don't actually need to go down here, continue higher. But for me, there's no confluence really to long here apart from channel. So yeah, I'll just be patient with this one. But silver is looking very interesting. Yeah, this zone here, I'll be watching for reaction. We'll probably see, let me get my path. Here we go. See something like that. Yeah, maybe something like that. I'd want to see a bearish divergence into this zone here. Weekly R3, yearly R1, golden pocket, and then 0.382. Big resistance zone here, 82 to 84, around there. Maybe you could catch a long around this monthly pivot, but that one would be definitely riskier. But I guess yeah, 0.382 here. Yeah, this zone very much could be good for a long after this zone. But yeah, you need a tight stop loss. I love when Ed does that sound. Yeah. Ed, you mentioned silver stars looking interesting. Yeah, you probably said that before I went over it, but there it is. Yeah, I think long at 4730 is good. Let's see, that was for gold, wasn't it? 730. Yeah, you see, it could be. Just need to play around with the channel, see what would work. Because the thing with these channels is they're not set in stone. As in, one day it may look better one way, next day completely different, depending on how a price moves. So I guess we could predict if the channel was different, how would be best for a long down there. So let's say, for example, like that. Maybe we go down here, see how midline's respected here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this would be good. You see how this channel is less respected at the moment, but in the future it could be. So there's a bit of game theory, a bit of forward thinking. But yeah, let's see if we go long down here. Stop loss, maybe there or there. First take profit around there. Then target weekly R3 or this resistance on here. Could be, yeah, could be a good long. Keep an eye on it. We may have more commodity calls in the group soon. Yeah, in the stock chat or stock channel at the moment. That can also be used for commodities. So I may see a gold long, silver short, these types of plays. If anyone has any more tokens they want me to go look at, just put it in the chat. This is something I've been watching. This descending channel for crypto market cap also broke out, which is more confidence for me thinking will go higher. So more confidence for this zone here. Yeah, yeah, the zone does look good around here. Keep a strong eye on it. Good, thank you. Yeah, no worries. One last one, ETH Bitcoin. Also looking interesting. Should probably see ETH outperform on, yeah, like the weekly time frame. Maybe see down to monthly pivot and back up, which would align with Bitcoin getting its move up whilst ETH rejects a bit and then swapping around to ETH, having this impulsive move up to this zone here. That's what I would like to see happen. Could you explain how you use the pivot indicator briefly? Yeah, sure. So let me pull up what would be a good chart. Yeah, I guess. What was the one? Silver. Yeah, silver would be good to explain this. Yeah, here we go. So for the pivot points, three major time frames: weekly, monthly, and yearly. And of course, the higher the time frame, the more it is respected. So essentially, people use them differently, but how I use them is at the pivot points and the yellow points. I use them as a equilibrium. So let's say price ranges far outside. So I mean, yeah, this is a great example. see on the yearly ones how our yearly pivots here are equilibrium, price stretched all the way up here, yearly R3. I'd expect when it gets to yearly R3, we are overextended towards the upside. So I'd expect a move back down to the equilibrium, which of course happened literally perfectly. And then you see how I move down here, back up, yearly R2, down. So in this scenario, it's kind of like playing how overextended it is and then looking for a move back. It's like here I'd expect, yeah, we maybe we'll pull back. Here, yeah, should have some type of rejection. But then here, strong chance of rejection. And the same works with down here. So these work as kind of like resistance towards the pivot, towards the equilibrium. Down here, support, back up. It's the equilibrium, the pivot. And then of course you can use them on different time frames. So yeah, weekly, monthly. Some people would like to use them as like saying the yearly is for investors, the monthly is for position traders, weekly is for swing traders, things like that. But I just use them as seeing on what time frame are we likely to reject, and then go down to key levels. So like here, if we went up here, took a short yearly R2 or no yearly R1, weekly R3, but overextended to the upside, especially on the weekly. So I'll probably expect a move back down. Use this monthly pivot as a support zone, so take profit above here, then next one down here, and then maybe last one down here around yearly pivot. Thanks. Interesting. So this adds another area of confluence for you. Yeah, exactly. So the confluences I look at are fibs, pivot points, channels, and then I use divergences to sort of paint the picture, to bridge the gap from key areas to are they good for a trade or not. Do you prefer that to other SI lines? Yeah, definitely. Because with normal support and resistance lines, think how messy it gets. Like, I used to use them a lot, but then I switched them out. Let's do an example. Having to look at all of this, you see how messy that gets. I prefer keeping it simpler, plus they just work better instead of using support and resistance. Now this is probably maybe a bit extreme, but with trading, simplicity is key, and with this it's not simple. So yeah, I prefer to use fibs, pivot points for my support and resistance. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a good rest of your days, and yeah, I hope you learned something today. Take care. Bye.